And that was our movie of the week, Daywatch. I'm Jason Govine.
And I'm Bodie Plekas, and welcome to Movie Reviews for You. Daywatch is the second part of a trilogy, Russian films. The original film, Night Watch, was the most expensive and the biggest money-making film in Russian history, and it shows on the screen. It's a big story and really hard to describe all the different things that go into it, but to give you a brief outline, it's the story of the 1,000-year-old truce. The Night Watch are the good guys who watch the bad guys who are vampires and keep them from breaking the truce, and the Day Watch is the bad guys who keep an eye on the good guys to make sure they don't break the truce. Early in the film, we realize that we are on a potential verge of an event that, if it does occur, would cause Armageddon. A lot to take, but well done.
Yes. It reminds me when I was young growing up and I went to visit my grandmother in Florida. She took me to a place called Morrison's, which was a smorgasbord place. This is what this movie essentially was. If you like food, you will like this movie. There's so much going on, from the car chase scenes to people jumping through pictures and all sorts of just visual tidbits that it became a little bit much as far as the overload, but it was so entertaining and so enjoyable that you kept wanting more. In between watching some of the words, there were times when it would have a certain beat that would resonate to the subtitles, as the subtitles was a subtext of, like, it was like a character itself. Yeah. And then you'd have the words that would disappear from the screen and go off into the netherworld. And it was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm watching all this in the creativity, which you don't see.
It's a Russian take on an American genre. The action genre, as we talked about before, is reinvented, and how a different perspective really fuels it with this Russian soul and spirit. And a really great scene that both of us really like, that it really encapsulates it, is a scene where Anton, our lead, he's a good guy, he comes to the Dark Ones, a party, trying to save his son, who was in the last film taken over by the Dark Ones and is on the verge of becoming their most powerful leader. The scene is wild. He gets drugged, and it just goes to crazy extremes, like an Alice in Wonderland kaleidoscope, visually, color-wise. There's Russian folk music, crazy Russian dancing, all different kinds of camera angles. And you had also said there was another scene you liked, a car chase, but a different kind of car chase.
That's correct. She takes off, and it reminds me of a speed racer in the Mach 5? Yeah. And she's racing along, and the windows are shattering, and all this stuff is happening, and then she finally ends up going through a window and ending up into the office, in the office of the guy. And it's just like, how did you come up with that? How did you possibly come up with that, which I'm pretty sure, is a big budget, but it's a limited budget compared to what we do here. Just the level of creativity. The filmmakers, the Russian filmmakers, took a page from what we used to do in the action genre and made it their own, put their own spin on it, put their own inflection on it, put their own expression to it, and it was very visually entertaining.
I highly, highly recommend Daywatch. I recommend you see Night Watch beforehand, but if you don't worry about it. This film is so exciting, so visually stunning, that the biggest bummer is that it's a Russian film and lots of Americans won't see it, because you'll love it. And as we said, the subtitles are easy to follow, and they're a lot of fun. They've done some very creative things with them.
I also like this movie, and I'm pretty sure you will as well. There's so much going on, from the subtitles and how they move and disappear, and the car chase scenes, and the contrast between, obviously light ones and dark ones, but more of, visual contrast of stark colors and very dull, sullen colors, and how that all plays into how, how the characters interact with each other. But what's most important to me is when you look at how the American directors have kind of lost their way, and the Russian director in this particular film has taken some elements from, how we shoot movies here, but he's put his own spin on it and made it his own, and it's very refreshing. Once again, I'm Jason Govine.
And I'm Bodie Plekas, and thanks for joining us for Daywatch here at Movie Reviews
for You.
I've been seeing you talking about it in the shower.